About 50 kilometers outside of Madrid, carved right into the granite of the Guadarrama Mountains, stands a monument of breathtaking scale and terrible history. The Valley of the Fallen, a place for reconciliation after the brutal Spanish Civil War. His presence turned the valley into a pilgrimage site for the far right and a source of deep, unending pain for the victims of his regime. By the mid-1980s, 10 years after Franco's death, Spain was a new democracy. The site became a target for simmering acts of defiance. The controversy bubbling around the tomb could no longer be kept within Spain's borders. It spilled out onto the international stage, sparking a global conversation. News of protests at a dictator's monumental grave resonated deeply in a world still grappling with the legacy of 20th century fascism. These weren't just random vandalism, they were deeply political statements. Each act was a challenge to the official story of reconciliation, arguing that you can't build real peace on a foundation that honors a tyrant. These protests, happening in the shadow of that giant cross, were a raw message from the heart of Spain. The ghost of Franco hadn't been exiled, and the country's democratic future depended on finally facing it. But it was a nation walking on eggshells, bound by an unofficial pact of forgetting in the hopes of leaving old conflicts behind. The Valley of the Fallen was a constant, glaring reminder of a past that refused to stay buried, but its creation was an act of humiliation. It was constructed using the forced labor of political prisoners of Arab people his regime had crushed. Throughout the 1980s, as Spain wrestled with its new identity, the Valley of the Fallen became a flashpoint for protest. For so many, its very existence was an intolerable glorification of a brutal dictator. In a nation still scarred by mass graves in the memory of state-sponsored terror, the honor given to Franco felt like an injustice that just wouldn't end. For decades it didn't serve as a symbol of unity, but as a shrine to fascism. Topped by a 150-meter high cross, the site features a massive basilica drilled into the side of the mountain. It was built on the orders of General Francisco Franco, the dictator who ruled Spain with an iron fist for nearly 4 decades. Franco claimed the monument was a national act of atonement, and at its heart, for 44 years, lay the tomb of Franco himself. The tomb was a lightning rod for the unresolved tensions of Spanish society. While official reports were often suppressed, these acts of defiance helped shatter the quiet pact of forgetting.